You opened your phone to check the time. That was 45 minutes ago. Now you're watching a man pressure wash a driveway in 4K. You don't even own a driveway. And somewhere in the back of your skull, a tiny voice goes, "You had things to do today, but your thumb keeps scrolling." Because your brain isn't lazy, it's addicted. And I'm not throwing that word around loosely. Your brain is running the exact same reward loop as a slot machine addict in Vegas, except the slot machine is your phone, and the casino never closes, ever. Here's what nobody tells you. Every piece of advice you've ever read about this is useless. Just put your phone down, use a screen time app, try a dopamine detox. Oh wow, incredible. I'll just detox from the chemical my brain literally needs to function. That's like telling a fish to try a water detox. Genius advice. Really groundbreaking stuff? The problem isn't willpower. The problem is you're fighting a $300 billion attention economy with self-discipline. That's like bringing a plastic spoon to a sword fight. You were never supposed to win that way. So let me actually explain what's happening inside your head, and then I'll give you 4 steps to fix it without shaving your head and moving to a monastery. First, let's kill the biggest myth on the internet. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical every Instagram infographic lied to you. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It doesn't make you feel good when you get the thing. It makes you want the thing before you get it. Massive difference. Think about this. You ever scroll Netflix for 40 minutes, excited about finding the perfect movie, and then when you finally pick one, you feel absolutely nothing? That was dopamine doing its exact job. The search was the reward. The actual movie was irrelevant. Your brain doesn't care about satisfaction. It cares about the possibility of satisfaction. And every app on your phone is engineered around this. It's called variable rewards. Sometimes the next post is boring garbage. Sometimes it's the funniest thing you've ever seen. You never know which one's coming. And that uncertainty, that maybe, is what keeps you swiping like a lab rat pressing a lever. It's the exact same mechanic as a slot machine. You don't pull the lever because you won last time. You pull it because you might win this time. Your phone is a slot machine that fits in your pocket, and the average person pulls that lever 150 times a day. 150. That number should genuinely scare you. Now here's where it gets really ugly. Your brain adapts. Just like a drug addict needs bigger doses to feel the same high, your brain needs stronger stimulation to release the same amount of dopamine. This is called downregulation. Your dopamine receptors physically shrink. They become less sensitive. So the stuff that used to feel genuinely enjoyable, reading a book, cooking dinner, going for a walk, now feels like watching paint dry on a Tuesday afternoon, not because those activities changed, because your brain's baseline shifted upward. You raised the floor, and now everything below that floor feels unbearable. That's why you can't sit in silence for 5 minutes without reaching for your phone. It's not a discipline problem. It's a tolerance problem. Your brain literally recalibrated what normal stimulation means. Think about it like this. Imagine you eat cake after every single meal. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Cake. Every day since you were 12. Then one day someone gives you plain rice. The rice doesn't taste bad. Your taste buds are just wrecked. You trained them to expect sugar at every meal. That's your brain right now. You've trained it to expect constant, effortless stimulation, and anything less feels like suffering. Here's something even darker. This isn't just making you lazy. It's literally making you dumber. Studies from the University of Texas found that just having your phone on the desk, not using it, not even looking at it, reduces your cognitive capacity. Your brain is spending processing power resisting the urge to check it, even when you don't. You're paying an attention tax every second of every day, and you don't even know it. That paper you can't focus on, that project you keep starting and abandoning, that book you've been reading for 6 months. It's not because you're stupid, it's because 30% of your brain power is dedicated to not picking up a glowing rectangle. Your ancestors used that brain power to track animals across continents. You're using it to resist checking if someone liked your Instagram story. Evolution's really proud of us right now. So, what do you actually do? Because just delete social media is about as helpful as telling a drowning person to simply breathe air. Step 1. Stop stacking. Here's the biggest mistake you're making without realizing it. Dopamine stacking. That's when you layer multiple dopamine sources on top of each other. Eating while watching Netflix while texting. Listening to music while scrolling while on a treadmill. Playing a game while snacking while on a Discord call. Every layer adds more dopamine, and your brain starts treating that stack as the minimum requirement for engagement. So when you try to do just one thing, study, read, work, your brain goes, "Where's the rest?" It feels empty, painful, almost. Not because the activity is boring, because you trained your brain to need 5 inputs at once. The fix is embarrassingly simple. One thing at a time. Eat without a screen. Walk without earbuds sometimes. Study in actual silence. It'll feel terrible at first, genuinely uncomfortable, but that discomfort is your dopamine receptors rebuilding themselves. That's the healing. Lean into it. Step 2. Weaponize boredom. This sounds crazy, but boredom is the most productive state your brain can enter. When you're bored, your brain activates the default mode network. That's where creativity lives, where you process emotions, where you actually reflect on your life instead of numbing it into oblivion. Every great idea you've ever had came in the shower, or on a walk, or right before sleep. Know why? Because those are the only moments your brain isn't being waterboarded with stimulation. Newton discovered gravity sitting under a tree doing literally nothing. Not watching a TikTok about physics, nothing. Most successful people in history weren't more disciplined, they just had more tolerance for being bored. So schedule it. 20 minutes a day of absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no podcasts, just you and your own thoughts. The first week feels like prison. By week 3, your brain starts generating ideas you forgot it was capable of. Step 3. Create before you consume. This one rule will rewire your brain if you actually follow it. Don't consume anything until you've created something first. Wake up. Don't touch your phone. Don't open YouTube. Don't check Instagram. Spend the first 60 to 90 minutes of your day producing something. Write, build, plan, practice, draw, code, anything. That requires output instead of input. Here's why this works. Creation uses effort-based dopamine. Your brain has to work for the reward. Scrolling uses stimulus-based dopamine. Reward for free. Zero effort. When you create first, you're retraining your brain to associate effort with satisfaction, instead of passivity with satisfaction. That's the entire difference between people who build things and people who just watch other people build things. It's not talent. It's not some genetic gift. It's which dopamine pathway got trained harder. And right now, your consumption pathway is an 8-lane highway. Your creation pathway is a dirt road. Flip that ratio. Step 4. The 48-hour reset. If you're deep in the hole, and let's be honest, most of us are, do a 48-hour stimulation fast, not a dopamine detox. You can't detox from dopamine because you'd literally die. But you can remove all the artificial super stimuli for 48 hours. No phone, no social media, no video games, no Netflix, no YouTube, no music. For 48 hours straight, you can read physical books, you can walk outside, you can cook with your actual hands, you can talk to human beings with your actual mouth, you can sit and stare at a wall if you want. That's allowed. The first 12 hours are annoying. The next 12 are brutal. You'll feel anxious, restless, almost physically itchy. That's withdrawal. Actual neurological withdrawal. Your brain is screaming for a hit. Then something bizarre happens. Around hour 24, the world starts looking different. Colors seem sharper. Food tastes better. A conversation feels genuinely interesting for the first time in months. That's your receptors waking up. That's your brain remembering what baseline stimulation feels like. Most people will never experience this because they never go more than 30 minutes without a hit. Look, I'm not going to stand here and pretend I've got this perfectly figured out. I still catch myself doom scrolling at 2 a.m. sometimes, watching videos of cats falling off tables. We all do. Nobody's immune, but here's what I know for certain. The person you want to become, the focused, creative, productive version of you, that person is being held hostage by a 6-inch screen. And the ransom isn't money, it's your attention. You've been paying it every single day, and all you've gotten back is a shorter attention span and a weird feeling that time is moving way too fast. Your brain isn't broken, it's hijacked. And the first step to getting it back is admitting that the phone in your pocket isn't a tool you use. It's a trap you live in. A very well-designed, very profitable, very addictive trap. So put it down. Not forever. Just long enough for your brain to remember what it feels like to want something real. Anyway, I'm collecting donations in the form of subscribes to fund the next video.